Let me transition to a subject that, to be quite honest with you, makes me feel relatively unpleasant. And that is the story involving Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown is an all-world wide receiver. Used to be with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Used to be with the Oakland Raiders. Was for a couple of weeks with the New England Patriots. He is now without a job. We are talking about a dude in Antonio Brown that is all world. We are talking about a dude in Antonio Brown who is easily one of the greatest receivers we've ever seen in NFL history. We are also talking about a troubled individual. He snapped back at me. He snapped back at me on Twitter or whatever it was. And I don't have the tweet or the IG post in front of me. I don't know what the hell it was. I don't have it in front of me. But Antonio Brown basically was saying, hey, man, you know, because I got on him about cursing at the cops the other day in front of the mother of his child and his children and acting the way that he was acting. And I implied that he could get in trouble because the police, I didn't imply it, I flat out said it, that, you know, they could arrest him. Well, the police nation, you know, all of those people that are addicted to those cop shows, you know, reality TV and all of that stuff. Bunch of folks there reminded me, actually, you can say whatever you want to the cops and there's nothing that you can do. That's the tweet. That's it right there. So Antonio Brown claps back at me, didn't know words was a crime. We can exchange words. How about you come to South Florida and let's speak quite frankly? Let me say this. Antonio Brown was right. From what I've been told, that's something I need to correct. Actually, you can say what you want to the police and still not get arrested because they're trained to avoid such things and just walk away, right? They can't just arrest you for talking. That's fair. Having said all of that, let me say this. I know a lot of people out there are looking at me and expecting me to clap back at him as I will do no such thing. I'm incredibly concerned about Antonio Brown. There have been people that have implied that he may be suffering from CTE. May have never been the same since Vontaze Burfict nearly decapitated him in that playoff game against Cincinnati years ago when he went to the turf looking like rigor mortis was instantly kicking in. I don't know. But I do know it appears to be clear that someone with all their faculties in order would not do the idiotic, stupidest, nonsensical things that Antonio Brown has done to get in the way of his career and his life. You can shut up for 4 days and you're guaranteed $29.1 million. Couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. You'd have had a job in the NFL with the defending reigning Super Bowl champion New England Patriots. All you had to do was listen to the Patriots when they said to you, keep your mouth shut. Don't contact the woman who's alleged to have been sexually assaulted by you. Stay off social media. And he couldn't do it. And then he claps back at me. He goes off about Big Ben Roethlisberger. He goes off about Mr. Kraft. He goes off about all these other people. He clearly has a problem, in my estimation. And what he deserves is our prayers, wishing him nothing but the best. My personal belief, which is shared by many, by the way, is that he clearly needs help and that he so desperately needs it, everybody's worried about it. Now, Drew Rosenhaus, his agent, now former agent, because he dropped Antonio Brown, said he wanted to drop him until he got some help. That's Drew Rosenhaus's position. And I got on Drew Rosenhaus about that on First Take this morning because I felt like it was very self-serving. I felt that Drew Rosenhaus, like, wait a minute, that didn't have to be publicized. And what do you mean you're going to drop him until he gets himself some help and then you get him back and you get money off of him or whatever? And then I spoke to a very, very reliable source on the matter who informed me that Drew Rosenhaus wasn't the one that took it public. AB chose to make it public. I'm so surprised. Remember, you're supposed to meet with John Gruden, you stand him up, and what happens? You do nothing. You understand? You publicize that. Conversation, Drew Rosenhaus put you on the phone with John Gruden, and you taping that conversation without their knowledge. So for somebody to say that AB was the one that put this public, I think that's incredibly believable. Drew Rosenhaus did not make this public. So I have to correct myself on the record for that. If I said it publicly, then I'm going to apologize and correct the record publicly. But then it goes a step further. And somebody said this to me, actually in Drew Rosenhaus's defense. You don't find too many people willing to come to the defense of Drew Rosenhaus. But somebody made this point to me that I have to come to Drew Rosenhaus's defense on this. You could be Drew Rosenhaus or anybody else and want to keep something private. But Antonio Brown clearly is not at a stage and point in his life where he's willing to listen to anybody. Plus, whatever kind of conversations you have with him, if you call him, he might tape the phone call. If you text him, he may publicize your text messages. So anybody that's willing to help him has to worry about how he's going to interpret things and how he is going to portray them while disseminating whatever message he wants to disseminate to the masses. So you can't be trusted. So let me say this to Antonio Brown. I have no desire to speak to you. I won't talk to you. I won't come see you. I won't talk to you. You've had that opportunity on many occasions. You passed. And sitting in my seat at First Take every day and throughout the years I've been on radio, I don't have to talk to you. I get to talk about you. It's me that choose to show up to arenas and stadiums. It's me that choose to show up and walk in the locker room because I want to be fair-minded and decent. But if you don't take advantage of that as a professional athlete, that's your problem. I'm still going to get to work every day and do my job. I wish Antonio Brown nothing but the best. I have nothing bad to say about him other than I think he needs help, and I don't think that's a bad thing. I think right now that's a good thing. I think he deserves all our prayers, and I hope that he gets the help that he needs. Outside of that, I have nothing to say. This is my farewell show. This is my very last show hosting the Stephen A. Smith Show on ESPN Radio and ESPN News. I can't thank y'all enough for y'all support and love throughout the years. I wouldn't be where I am today if it were not for any of y'all. So, yeah, I'm going to interview Louis Riddick, and I'm going to have Jason Fitz come on the show, and I'm going to take as many phone calls as I possibly can. But this is my day with y'all, my last day with y'all over these particular airwaves. Love y'all, appreciate y'all. This is not the end. I love radio too much to disappear forever. I'm just striving to do new things and diversify and augment my portfolio even more so than it already is. But I'll never completely walk away from radio forever. I love it too much. 888-SAY-ESPN. It's 888-729-3776.